Well, hello and welcome back, and thanks for coming back. Today we're going to go for a wiggle and a waggle down towards the Paphos harbour area and show you what's going on this truly spectacular day. Absolutely beautiful. That sky is blue, the sea is blue, I'm dressed head to toe in blue. All it's actually missing is Miss Booth, because of course she's in work today. It's that funny time between Christmas and the New Year. She's sitting on a sofa twiddling her thumbs because most of the body shops are closed, but of course tradition goes in Cyprus that most of the shops open in that, well, funny time of the year, shall we say. So stick with us. Mr. Paul is in charge of this ship today, so technically driving illegally, one hand on the steering wheel, which is pretty good by Cypriot standards, because often you don't find any hands on a steering wheel at all. Normally there's a pork kebab in one hand, a cigarette in the other hand, a mobile phone resting on the shoulder, and normally fiddling around in the footwell to see if they can get their flip-flops on. Anyway, that's enough of insults for the locals. So one-handed driving, technically illegal. So Gumbarus, if you are watching, obviously you've got to prove it's me driving. It's because you haven't seen my face yet. But yes, my left hand is holding a selfie stick, which is resting on my knee, because luckily I'm in an automatic car. And the view, I hope, is absolutely spectacular, because the view I can see is taking my breath away every single day that I come down this road. And I come up and down here 2 or 3 times a day, if you understand. That view to the blue Mediterranean Sea, beyond the spectacality of Paphos town, up, mid and lower, is absolutely spectacular. It's a great view indeed, and many people have this view if you live in the villages of Konya or Mu. If you go up to Upper Chlorica, Kisonica, and out towards Paya, of course, you get spectacular views out across the blue Mediterranean Sea. So stick with us as we head down towards the area known as the Limassol roundabout. At that roundabout, I think today, for a change, we'll take a left and we'll go for a wiggle and waggle up the Limassol highway, shall we say, and we'll keep going to the village of Armu. Sorry, the village of Armu. I'm confusing my villages. Never mind my English. We're coming from the village of Armu, but we'll go up the highway and we'll continue to the village of Mandria. A very popular village indeed. We were talking to a gentleman only a few days ago, Mr. Paul, and his wonderful wife and daughter, and they are now residing in the village of Mandria. And he did tell me, if you noticed, that he'd clipped his gate post in his blue Audi A3. So one of these days we're expecting that phone call. Of course, we will whiz out to Mandria, steal Mr. Paul's car, fix his car and return his car. See, we're not bad car thieves at all. We only steal your car for 2 to 3 days, and then we bring it back, and then we steal your wallet. So we look forward to meeting you again, Mr. Paul. But as I say, we're heading now towards the Limassol roundabout. Just before the roundabout, to give you some bearings, to give you some places for you to visit. Hopefully you don't visit there because you have to, but if you were to turn right here, you would go literally past the front door of the General Hospital. If you continue past the hospital to the T-junction, you could then take a right by the Papa Antonio Bakery and go up towards the Masoi area. Anyway, here we are, Limassol roundabout, straight over Paphos. If you go to the right, you would go towards, again, the Masoi area, but we're going to go left and we're going to shoot up the bypass, the highway, the dual carriageway, and head out towards the area of Mandria. So it's around about 15 kilometres or thereabouts. As you see, Paphos Airport, it says there is 15 kilometres, so that's where Mandria actually starts. So it's about 16-17 kilometres to Mandria. So stick with us and enjoy the drive. As you can see, it's pretty quiet. It's around 9:30 in the morning. The rush hour technically is gone. Not that we get much of a rush hour in Cyprus, although it can build up around various roundabouts, and it can be quite frustrating because, of course, we're not used to traffic jams in Cyprus. I understand if you're watching us, Mr. Phil Misleski from Antwerp, Well, perhaps you're used to the odd traffic jam in your Renault, and of course if you're coming from London, you'll be watching us and knowing that, well, you spend lots of your day in traffic jams. Birmingham, Manchester, if your name's Paul Butler, although he's retired, so he doesn't have to get stuck in those traffic jams. But we understand many people get very frustrated in traffic jams, and it's not something that I remember them, shall we say, but it's not something that I've ever enjoyed, and I'm pretty sure most of you don't either. So here we are, coming up the hill from Paphos on the highway, and then we're going to slowly but surely start our descent. It's a beautiful day today. If you're curious to know what the temperature is, according to the dashboard, it says 21 degrees. Yeah, you heard me correctly. 9:30 in the morning, 21 degrees. A couple of days before New Year. It doesn't get much better. Well, actually it does, because of course I've got an option to receive Anna Booth, but unfortunately she's not going to be on camera in this video, because as I've told you, she's in work, sitting around, feet up, relaxed, watching Marika and me on her smartphone obviously, and twiddling her blue nails, because there's not a lot going on at this time between Christmas and the New Year. There we are, a bit of a noddy car going past there. There are some strange cars made in the world, that's for sure. Hopefully you're enjoying the drive. And some of the people who follow the channel, or will follow the channel from the start perhaps, will understand that when we start this descent here, at the next exit, at the bottom of the hill, if you were to take a left, you would go into the Colony Industrial Estate. And of course, people like so sweet Caroline remembers in the early days that we used to visit the workshop. So now and again in the future we are going to go back, because the boys in the workshops do miss being on camera. So one of these days, receive Anna Booth in the new year, I'm going to go and surprise them. And we'll pop in and see what the Shishka boys are up to, see what the Aliyar Akbars are up to, and see what the Gamma Jubra is up to. And we'll see what Mr. Miserable Hassan is up to as well. So that's where you would turn, just down here. But again, we're going to keep going straight, because as I've told you, we're off to Mandria. And you can go to Mandria two ways, along the highway as we are doing, or you can go along the old airport road. So that's through Yediskipu, out through Alechia, through Timmy, where of course Timmy Market is, and then you take a left if you want to go into that market, or a right if you want to go to the airport, but you would continue straight if you wanted to go to Mandria for another couple of kilometres. So stick with us. Limassol there says 60 kilometres, so that's around about 40 miles. That building there on the right hand side, that's the Papa Antonio supermarket, main Paphos distribution outlet, if you're curious. And then the next exit coming up, you can turn off here, Argaveria, Alechia, and go to the airport. But if I was going to the airport, just, you know, it's my opinion, I believe the quickest route and safest route is to keep going to the next exit, which then is for Mandria, and turn off there and then come back into the airport. And the reason for that is you don't have to fight it out on the road with the taxis, because of course all the taxis turn off there, wiggle and waggle, and then hit the old road, and then they're overtaking you at like 400 kilometres an hour with oncoming traffic and scaring the living daylights out of you. But if you go straight, again, as you notice, the traffic thins out a bit. You can then double back from Mandria, and it's only another kilometre or so. But of course, there's no traffic. So the fact that it's a kilometre or two further actually means you arrive in the airport quicker, and you don't have to fight it out with the Gumbarus and the taxis. So that's just my little bit of advice. Now on the highways, if you're curious to know what is the speed limit, 100 kilometres an hour is the speed limit, and that's what's coming up on this little sign here. It says 100 with a red ring around it, but in Cyprus you're allowed to travel at around about 20% above the speed limit before the Gumbarus in blue will have a word with you. So if you set your cruise control to 119 kilometres, you'll be doing all right. Or as I do, normally stick to 110, and then you've got no problems whatsoever. If you were to take this next exit here, you could go off to Cuclia, which is where Secret Valley is, and it's also where Aphrodite Hills Resort is, and you could also wiggle and waggle out towards the Troodos Mountains as well. But we're going to come off at it, and we're going to go right, which means that we're going to wiggle and waggle towards Mandria and Anarita. So stick with us. Slowly but surely we're turning into an information channel rather than a comedy channel. So if you want to learn your way around downtown Paphos, this could be that perfect channel for you. You never know. So we're going to come off here, signposted Mandria, Anarita, Timmy. The airport's in the village of Timmy, if you understand me. Anarita is to our left, and we're going to go right and head towards Mandria. Everyone's driving very sensibly at the moment. Obviously no one's in a big rush to get anywhere, and most people appear to be wearing the seatbelts, and most people appear to be not talking on their mobile phones. The only naughty boy is Mr. Paul, because he technically is holding a mobile phone, although there is a stick in between that mobile phone and my hand is actually resting on my knee. So perhaps my lawyer Sava could get me off the €300 fine if I get caught. So slowly now we're going to join the old airport road. So that's the road from Yereskipu out towards, as the name suggests, the airport, which is Mandria. Over there's a big supermarket. I can't even say the name, so I'm not even going to try it. But that's the local supermarket, quite a good supermarket, and quite expat focused, because there's an awful lot of expats living in Mandria and Anarita. As we come over this brow now, we will start our descent into the village of Mandria. And it's had quite a few improvements in Mandria, by the way, over the last couple of years. If you've not been here since, should we say, before COVID. This is the Mandria petrol station coming up on the left-hand side. Got a great car wash. Know the guy in there quite well. He does a very good car wash for €10. Andreas is the boss. We're going to turn now right into Mandria village. We're going to go under this little bridge over here. Forgive the road surface, there's a bit of Sherlock Holmesing going on. So this is Mandria. So we're rapidly approaching Mandria Square. You've got 4 or 5 restaurant tavernas there, a fish and chip shop, and a supermarket, and other bits and bobs. Obviously most things that you could want are in Mandria, from a hair salon to the cafes. There's a bank terminal if you want to get some money out. And all of this now has been refurbished, and this is now a one-way. And that's quite a big car park they've put over there, and it does look rather nice, to be honest. It's got quite a quaint vibe to it. There's the supermarket, there's a fish and chip shop over there to the right hand side. So we'll go this way, we'll take a right, and we'll show you the beauty and the spectacality of Mandria village. As you can see, it's been done up very nice. There's a hair salon there, the cutting room. And you've got all these little metal things along the pavements to stop you parking up. The idea is to make it nice and safe for pedestrians. There's a classic old Mercedes parked up there. And then just coming around here is a nice big church, and it's a very attractive church with some nice domes. Have a look at that. Doesn't get much better. Now I think we'll go for a wiggle and waggle and show you just how close we are to the beach, and of course you're going to get a truly spectacular view of the blue Mediterranean Sea. So stick with us for that a little bit longer, because it's a beautiful day in downtown Mandria. So let's get out to the Mandria beach and show you the beauty. The calmness and the tranquility of the blue Mediterranean Sea. There's something special about this time of year when the weather's not chopsy-mopsy. When that sun's that little bit low in the sky and that sea's that little bit chilly, it makes it that, well, a little bit more blue, shall we say. And we all know that I like a bit of blue. Now, as you notice, we're in a lot of farmland and fields, but as time goes on, slowly but surely, they are developing little bits here and little bits there. So, of course, if you want to buy your piece of paradise in Mandria, now could be the time. Because if you come back here in 20 years, I promise you, there won't be much going on apart from bungalows and houses and apartment complexes literally everywhere. I think the thing's called progress. Anyway, I'm pretty sure now you can see the blue Mediterranean Sea. Absolutely spectacular. Every time I see it, it takes my breath away. It's that time. I think I'm going to say thanks for watching, and if you do like what you see, please hit the like, click subscribe, and come back for a little bit more of our madness. And if you really want to watch the channel grow, think about going through to our About page where you could hit the icon for buying me a coffee. You could buy yourself a coffee, or you can receive a booth for coffee, and well, help the channel grow, shall we say. That's what it's all about. Have a look at that. I don't think that it can get much better than that. Quite simply, a view to die for. Thanks for watching.